Okay, yeah, I think it says webinar is live.
Yeah, I see people coming now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll do a brief intro for you.
Sure. Is there a way I can see people? I feel like I cannot see people.
So if you click on the bottom link, that there's a button that says participants, and then you go to the attendees tab, you can see everybody who's currently here. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, good. So, yeah, I can keep this window here. I can also chat, right? I can also
Yeah, so during your presentation, I can monitor for questions, so you don't have to worry about checking that.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I see now there are like 15.
All right, well, I think it just turned 1 p.m. Eastern time, so we can go ahead and get started. First of all, hello everyone and welcome to our first of a monthly series of webinars. My name is Jamie Spicer. I'm an assistant professor at Wake Forest School of Medicine, and I'm organizing this webinar series, which is sponsored by the section on statistical learning and data science of the American Statistical Association. This is a new webinar series, so if you have any suggestions or feedback, please let me know. I'll drop my contact info in the chat box, so you can shoot me an email if you have any ideas or suggestions. We're certainly trying to make this beneficial for all of you. Today, we are honored to have Dr. Helen Zhang speak about data science teams. Dr. Zhang is our section's past chair and is a professor of statistics at the University of Arizona. Today, Dr. Zhang will be speaking about her experiences with the UA Tripods group. So her talk will last about an hour. And as the talk is ongoing, if you have any kind of small questions, then you can go ahead and write them in using the Q&A link, which is at the bottom of the Zoom. So as the presentation goes on, I can interject and ask them on your behalf. So after Dr. Zhang's talk, we can open it up for discussion. We should have about 30 minutes for that. So at that point, I can unmute everyone so that we can actually talk with each other. The webinar is being recorded and we will put it on the section website at some point, probably next week. So again, thank you to Dr. Zhang and the sponsor of our webinar, the Statistical Learning and Data Science section of the American Statistical Association. So go ahead, I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Zhang.
Okay, thank you, Jamie, for the nice introduction. And also, I'd like to thank everyone here for being here to discuss this very important and interesting topic. Okay, how do we collaborate with the scientists and the researchers in other fields to build the theoretical foundation of data science. And so my talk today will not be really that technical actually. So this actually is very new, I think, territory for all of us in today's data science. So today I'm going to just share our experience with this building these transdisciplinary collaborations in the past 3 years. Okay. And I'll play the role, as a PI for this UA Tripod Institute's grant we got from NSF about 3 or 4 years ago. And I'd like to share with you our experiences, the lesson we learned, and I'd like to actually have a discussion with you about the opening topics in this area. Okay, as Jamie mentioned, feel free to put your questions in the chat window or speak up during my presentation. I think I like to make this a forum for our open discussions. Okay, so let me start. Okay, so I'm going to start with this word, transdisciplinary, collaboration. And so because this actually is very different from traditional like a multidisciplinary collaboration or interdisciplinary collaborations. So in our proposals, we always talk about, oh, I'm going to collaborate with scientists in fields ABC. As a statistician, we actually help the researchers in other fields to collect their data, analyze their data. So what are the differences between different type of cross-disciplinary collaborations? That's the first thing I'm going to talk about. And then I will focus on data science and the theoretical foundations. And this is actually the modern area, which is intersecting across multi-fields. And I'm going to talk about theoretical foundations of data science and why this requires us to collaborate across multiple fields. And then I'm going to talk about this NSF program, Tripods program. This is still an ongoing program. About 3 years ago, NSF launched the Tripod Phase 1 program and funded 12 institutes in the national level to enable these collaborations. And from this, I think last year, the Phase 2 just started. So we, our institutes, got this Phase 1, support. So we actually did 3 years, hard work, try to establish a platform for these collaborations. And then in the end, we will just open floor for discussions. So data science, by nature, it is transdisciplinary. If you ask people what's the definition of a data science, different researchers, different scientists may give you different perspectives. Okay, so roughly speaking, data science is crossing 3 major fields. The first one is mathematics and statistics. And that actually is us, it's our field. Okay, we actually design the algorithm, study its mathematical properties, optimization properties. That actually plays a key role in analyzing the data. And then there is a second important field, which is the computational sciences. Okay, so here you'll notice I did not put the computer science here because computational sciences are more broad. It covers all the different perspectives related to computational and optimizing this large data analysis. So here it can, for example, it includes computer science and hardware, system science. How do I really store my data in these efficient data systems and the databases? How can I retrieve the data in a very efficient manner? And optimization, how do I really find the most efficient algorithm for my, and also how to understand the complexity analysis for this method. And the last circle, the blue circle, is a domain expertise. We have to work with the scientists in the field, in the science. Okay, we have to understand what are the scientific goals we want to help them to solve, and how do we really collect the data. We have to get the data insight. In order to do that, we need to get insight from the input from the researchers in the fields. So data science is actually the intersection among all the three. And by nature, it requires all the people in different fields to work together. Okay. So what are the different type of collaborations? Actually, this is a very, very interesting picture. Actually, I got from internet. Okay. So it turns out there are three types of cross-disciplinary collaborations, from the multidisciplinary to interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary. There is a very interesting revolution and the development across collaborations. So simply speaking, for multidisciplinary, which means we have multiple fields and people from different fields work on the same problems, but within their own silo boundaries. So they make their own assumptions and work with their own philosophy and their tools, and they actually get the result, okay, which may be only understandable and all interesting to the fields themselves. And for the interdisciplinary, you can see there is some overlapping across different fields. People still work on same problems, but now they work together. Okay, and they actually blend their assumptions and their philosophies. They borrow knowledge from each other. So there is some innovation going on from this interdisciplinary collaboration, but still that's not enough. So today we are going to focus on this transdisciplinary collaborations. So what's the difference here? So one major difference is that people still work on the same problems, but they work with unified concepts, very conceptual, same framework and the same tools. And they try to work on the same problems using the same mindset. There is a lot of innovation going on that will way go beyond the traditional way of collaborations. And in the end, there'll be new knowledge and new result produced from this very deep level collaborations. So in terms of the innovation of these three different type of collaborations, people typically describe the first one, like the silo one, as like the knowledge will be just added on the top of each other. But for the inter and the transdisciplinary collaborations, and the knowledge actually will be integrated and it will be multiplicative of multiple fields. Okay. And so this table gave us a very, very brief comparison about the different characteristics and the features of these collaborations. So I just want to emphasize the last column for the transdisciplinary collaborations, and people should work together using a shared conceptual framework. We have shared goals, we teach others skills, and we try to build the same philosophy, and the collaborations will cross different boundaries, not just between, it should be everywhere. Okay, we really work on the same problems, and the effort will be integrated and it will be a highly collaboration, and we have a highly interactive thinking and practice. Okay. And there is a lot of actually research going on about this new topic called transdisciplinary research. And people try to define this research in a very rigorous way by the social scientists and psychologists, to talk about what kind of challenges and the skills we need to perform this transdisciplinary research. And one thing I noticed very interesting is a comment given by the last three atoms, the last atom here, given by the International Center for Transdisciplinary Research. Okay, so basically it emphasized that the research offers us a new vision of nature and reality, and the transdisciplinary does not strive for mastery of several disciplines. Okay, we don't have to be multidisciplinary. We don't have to know everything for each individual person, but this whole field, okay, will research. This whole research will open all the disciplines such that we can share and we can actually work together beyond each individual field. Okay, and that actually is the transdisciplinary research I'm going to talk about. And today I will just talk about the real challenges, okay, we feel, and also what we have done, try to overcome these challenges based on our own experiments or experiences in past few years. So roughly speaking, the challenges actually are everywhere. And so here I just give some examples of the major challenges. So first of all, researchers are from different fields. We have different mindsets. So there is actually cultural barriers, okay? And the computer scientists and statistician, we will think differently, and we solve the problems with different tools. We have different goals. And also we speak different languages. If you work with computer scientists as statisticians, you will even notice some terminologies or vocabulary are very different from us, right? And when I teach a machine learning course to my statistical students, I always tell them, oh, we call the statistical models as a model, but in machine learning, they are called the machines, okay? And we call our data as a data or observations, and they may just call them examples. So there are some terminology differences, and deeper than that, we use different theoretical tools. We have different theorems in different fields. Okay. The second challenge I like to talk about this group or this transdisciplinary research is it's not easy to define the research directions for the group from different fields. And it's not easy to form a same vision and identify problems which all of us can focus on, can work together and with our different perspectives. It always takes a long time, for us and for different working groups to decide, oh, what's the major problem here? And how can we solve this problem, okay, from statistical perspective, computational perspective, and also how do I really borrow the knowledge or tools like a geometry or algebra from mathematics fields. And so we want to really unite all the power of different people and find the full potential for the team, but turns out it's really hard. And if we really cannot even put a strong driving force to put people together working on the same problems. And the last one I want to talk about is how do we make decisions as a team, and that requires a very strong leadership. And also we require people have very good interpersonal skills, open-minded, and coordination. This is very important for a team. We know teamwork always is challenging, but if you put different people from different fields in a team, that's actually even more challenging. Okay. So in statistical learning or machine learning, which is a focus I'm going to talk about today, As you know, traditionally mathematicians, statisticians, we focus on inference, okay, and a large sample asymptotics when we get a data set. We want to do analysis, build the models, and predict, you know, the results. But we are very interested in understanding the uncertainty and the risk of our estimators. We care a lot about, you know, whether the procedure is consistent, if I get more samples, and how I can actually, you know, characterize the bound for this estimation. And for computer scientists, they have different perspectives, and they care more about prediction accuracy than the inference. And also they've put a lot of effort in making the algorithm faster and speedy, and so they put a lot of, you know, tools to do the optimization and the computational complexity. Okay, but now, you know, this we need to really put these efforts together, just because simply driven by the complexity of the scientific problems we have, and the massive volume of the data we have to actually analyze. So the problems are so complex. It requires everything together in some sense, and it requires us to have a powerful learning algorithms. And also we have so many complex constraints, like a geometry constraint, algebra constraint, computational constraint. We have to, you know, take into account. And also, we also want to build robust and interpretable models, so that it's like a can, you know, be against the noise or adversary attacks. And also, we have to take into account the privacy preservation for our data. We also require computers to do online prediction. So in order really to achieve everything together, it's not possible to do for each individual field. And we have to sit down together and tackle the challenges as a group. And so, okay, so what is the foundation of data science? And again, this actually is an open topic. And you know, I participated different panels at NSF. We always talk about, okay, so this tripod is for foundational of data science. So what are really foundational of data science? And we know data science is so broad, it intersects with different fields, but what are the foundations? And so here we're talking about the theoretical foundations. So these are the perspectives of like our group. You know, we think, you know, we vision that foundation of data science basically is we need to use principles of mathematics, statistics, and the theoretical computer science to develop a theory and methods to understand and analyze and interpret the data. In particularly, we want to address a question like how and why and when, okay? And we want to actually a rigorous theoretical framework to understand how an algorithm works and why it works, and how we generalize those algorithms to real data, to future data. And also we want to know what are the limitations and robustness of our algorithms, when it works and when it does not work. And these theoretical understanding are very important for us to develop newer, better, more powerful algorithms to overcome the shortcomings of the existing approaches. Okay, so this actually is where the tripod, NSF tripod program was launched. I just give you, you know, the bigger background. About in 2017, and the NSF launched this program. It's called the Transdisciplinary Research in Principles of Data Science. And it requires 3 communities to work together. Okay, so this program just helped different institutes to launch this program, which involve all the 3 fields, okay, to work together on building the theoretical foundations of data science. And the PI actually is not a one single PI. It's like a team. It has to add, the program must have at least 3 PIs and with one representative from each field. So at least the timeline here, okay, just let you know the NSF tripod program are still going on. Between 17 to 20, and that is phase 1. And in the middle of phase 1, tripod launched a program called Tripod Plus X, which I'm going to talk about also in my presentation. That's very interesting. You may wonder what is X here. And then in 2019, and the tripod and NSF HDR program, and launched another type of phase 1 called HDR phase 1. Okay, it's linked to the Harness Data Revolution program. And in 2020, like last year, the 12 institutes in phase 1 institutes actually put proposals to get the institute renewed to get the phase 2, and which I'm going to talk about briefly also. Okay, so from now on, I'm going to share with you our experience as like UA tripod for the past 4 years. Okay, and just let you know, whether this transdisciplinary collaborations is possible. Okay, and how we have done them, what achievement we have got, and what lessons we have learned. Okay, so this picture shows you, our PI team. As you can see, I use a different color code to tell you which field each PI is from. Like Stefan Kovarev is computer science, and Joe Watkins is from math and statistics, and David is a geometrician and from math. Okay, so you may wonder, so what our collaboration looked like before UA tripod. And so basically it's really silo. In the history of UA, we have like a computer science program, longer than 49 years, and the math are pretty old, has history of over 100 years, and applied math 40 years. Statistics is really, really new program. We are only 10 years old. Okay. And so we noticed that there were a lot of active collaborations between our data scientists, basically these 3 fields, with the domain scientist. Okay, UA actually was really strong in doing the domain science, like research, like astronomy, optical science, and management. We have actually one of the best programs in the country. But based on our survey before the UA tripod, we noticed the collaborations among the 3 communities were really random and rare. Okay, we had the statistic. It's like the number of papers produced by these 3 communities were in the single digits range. And also the problem is that the collaborations just happen randomly, and people work with their friends. They pick up some collaboration projects together just by chance. There was really no a platform to ensure this systematic collaborations to happen. And also there was no really transdisciplinary work, basically involving all the 3 communities together working on data science foundations. Okay, so we think that was really silo, just like there was a clear boundaries between all the 3 disciplinaries, 3 disciplines. Okay, and so what is our campus now looks like 2.5 years after UA tripod. Okay, so this picture actually shows you what do we look like today. And so we have a lot of actually activities in research and education, and we also have a very strong research outreach program and domain science. So you can see here, for example, there are some details here at least. Okay, we have in the past 2.5 years, we have more than 70 seminars, okay, joined by the 3 communities. And we also have an annual conference, okay, organized to engage the researchers from the 3 fields together. And we co-advised 4 postdocs, 14 PhD students, and undergraduate students all together. And we collaborate on a lot of papers, like here I put like a lot of papers and joint proposals. We also got a new funding as a group of 3 communities. And at the same time, as a group, okay, we organized a lot of outreach activities to society to let community in the city or in the state know what is a tripod. We put a lot of effort to tell people, to really work on theoretical foundations. We need the different fields to work together. And at the same time, we also work with the domain scientists, like astronomists and climate scientists on hurricane prediction, and work with industry partners to do the smart city and traffic data predictions. Okay, and so actually the question is, can the foundational disciplines work together? The answer for sure is yes, based on our experiences. Okay, so here this is the before and after table, just to show you. For the research, show you the big changes. Okay, we have observed in the different categories. For the research, and we did not have team before. The interactions were rare. And now we have 8 actually working teams, and we have a lot of papers. We have weekly seminars and regular group meetings among all the 3 communities. And for student training, before tripod, different field just train their students separately. And now we actually have co-advised the postdocs, undergraduate students. I'm going to talk about actually, 2 of our postdocs. They actually landed up very good faculty position job, and based on their multidisciplinary experiences and very productive research. And before tripod, we different field outreach different societies, right? So we go to GSM, and computer scientists go to their machine learning conferences, like visualization conferences and natural language processing conferences, which are not really familiar to statisticians. But now we were able to send our students, okay, as a co-authors of the papers to present their works at conferences in different fields. And we also organized many outreach activities together, like Women in Data Science and Machine Learning Literature Day and high school outreach. And all of this would not be possible. And I think it would be hard for one individual discipline. But now, with this joint effort, we felt we have achieved a lot more than, we did separately. So now let me talk about research infrastructure and how do you really put people together to work on the same problems. And so we put a lot of effort in building the teams, okay? So our teams actually here are we call them research working groups. We had totally 8 research working groups, okay? And when we started this group, we actually, we had some thought. So who will lead the group? And we figure out, okay, it's not a good idea to lead, to have a group leader, from one field. So we required each group, has to be co-led by faculties from, at least 2 disciplines, okay? And usually it's our PIs or senior personnel, 2 or 3 of them, if they share some common interest, and they will just form this team. And the team have a weekly or bi-weekly meetings, and they put their team calendar on our master calendars. So, and all the actually team meetings are open doors. Okay, so basically, let me show you. Oh, actually, I have a team calendar yeah, I will talk about it later, okay? We have a team calendar on our website. So at any time, you just go to the calendar, you will say, oh, today group 1 meets at a certain location. And then they all have their own website to talk about, what papers they will discuss today, what the problems they are working on. So everyone is actually welcome to join those meetings just to find out what's going on. It turns out these group meetings were really, really useful, at least for our postdocs or graduate students, okay? When they were not sure, which group they should join, at the beginning, they just rotate and set in different working groups for 1 or 2 weeks and find out, the interesting problems which match, their own skills. And we also, each working group actually also has a vertical, structure. It's integrated, integrated system between, among faculties, postdocs, PhD students, undergraduate students, okay? Because we want our students and postdocs to be exposed in this multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary working environment. So hopefully they will learn this collaboration is very, very crucial in their future. And they will be used to talking with researchers not in their fields. Okay, we think that's really important for future generations data scientists. So we want to train them, and so that they'll be used to them. Okay, for us, for me, I was trained in a pure statistical environment, so it took me a while to really get used to working with people from different fields. But for the students, if they were trained in that way from the very beginning, they will feel like this collaboration is natural and they have to work together. And so, yeah, we have 4 postdocs. It turns out, they have some of them from computer science, some from mathematicians. And now they become really close collaborators, and they got used to work together and discuss their problems. They had a lot of collaboration papers. I think that's actually a very, very fruitful systems. And another thing we did, I will talk about later, is we have joint seminars, conferences, and these actually are activities we designed for the whole Tripod Institute. Okay, it's not in each individual group, but we try to bring people all together to see each other all the time. I'm going to talk about what we did for these 2 activities. So if you are curious about our research working groups and how you identify topics, and so here, are our 8 working groups. We had groups on larger networks, graphs, data visualization, and imaging science, and the natural languaging process, optimization, machine learning, and the Bayesian statistics, and the temporal spatial data analysis. And then you may wonder, how these topics were defined and how the groups were formed. Actually, and what we did is just, by the nature of the faculty expertise in your campus, right? You really cannot you have to build based on what you have and your strengths. We organized some big discussions. We invite all the data scientists together, and just to have open floor discussions, let people explore, okay, what are their complementary expertise, what problems they want to work on. So for example, you notice our group, we don't have deep learning here because at that time, we did not have deep learning researchers. So I think we just build based on what we had. That's so important. That's what people do, that's what people do in their career for their research. So it's not really easy to let people start working on something different. But it turns out, I think this actually is actually a good idea. So here, just let you know, our research working group 1 looks like. You can see different color code here. Notice our key participants are from all the 3 fields. And they work on like different research directions, like particularly multi-layer networks and graph sketching, and how to visualize networks, and what if your network have like different levels, like from matrix level to tensor level. And so these groups, they work on algorithm together, and also theoretical mathematicians try to quantify the quality of visualization, and the computer scientists try to design the algorithm to do the fastest graph sketching algorithms. And so this group actually produced the very first paper in UA history, which is a transdisciplinary paper. Okay, we call it because the paper has is co-authored by researchers in 3 fields. Okay, and so I think that was actually make a history record in UA history. We say it's like 1 year after tripod. It was published in 2018 in this very top conference, computer conferences called a Symposium on Experimental Algorithms, SEA. And they also have, there's a natural languaging processing. Okay, they work on the trustworthy and explainable AI, and try to build this languaging algorithm and to process the data and do the text mining. And there is also theoretical questions for this direction, and which require information theory to make inference, and also involve very powerful deep learning algorithms to study the how the algorithm when there's intervention from human. We call them human in the loop machine learning. Okay, that's actually very hot area. And that's actually very good way of defining directions. You'll feel some directions are really new, and the researchers teach each other. And I was involved in this group, and I was not familiar with this human in the loop machine learning, but I was happy, like I can learn something really hot and the trend in the computer science field. And so they are, here are just sampled publications from different research working groups. As you can see, we have papers also in natural languaging process, like EMNLP, that's really top conference in natural languaging process, and also in IEEE visualization. One thing you may notice, why you publish a lot in computer science proceedings rather than annals or JASA, like statistical publications. So there are many reasons, and one thing is we have different culture, and computer scientists they publish a lot on conference proceedings. That's their culture. That's also very fast to circulate your result. Most statistical journals or mathematical journals, just the review process is much longer than computer science. And so we have discussions, and people in the research group had to compromise with each other and decide, where we should publish the first paper. And it turns out, people like the way that computer science is doing, a very speedy, very faster conference proceedings. So that's what we did for these sample collaborations. I think I'm going to skip this one. This is the one sample paper we published in the visualization, just to show how human, visualization can do better in information extraction by this traditionally scatter plot type of interfaces. Okay, and so here is a picture I show you, a slide I show a lot of pictures to highlight some events we have been doing. So first one is we have a master calendar on the website. It's very important to have a master website and have a coordinator to update the events, and so that people can find out, all the ongoing activities. And each group also had their own, website to put their papers and projects. That's also very important. And then we have conferences, which I'm going to talk about later, and the public lecture series. We organized this 2 years. We organized this a college lecture series, which is actually one trademark for U of A. We invite all the people from the city, from the state, to come to campus to hear what is the newest going on in science. And so we convinced the dean of College of Science, let's just do the public series on the topic of data science and machine learning. So we did it for 2 years. That was a very good publicity for the tripods. And we also, in the second row, the first picture shows we invited a high school club in the city to explain AI, to explain the fancy picture our collaborator got for this black hole. If you see the picture here, that's actually the first snapshot of a human for this black hole. And that's actually, I think that made the cover page of the Nature last year. And the middle picture here is like the LSST. That's our astronomy collaborators. They are building the world's largest synoptic survey telescope in Chile. And the telescope will start collecting huge data and survey the whole sky, in 2 years. So we're actually working together to prepare the collection of new data and also to do analysis to detect the rare phenomenon in the sky. And the picture on this, the last corner is Women in Data Science conferences. We also organized the very first data science conference in Tucson, and which is a satellite event for this world level Women in Data Science conference. And we just did it the second conference last year, and did it virtually online due to the COVID. Okay, let me see. Yeah, and so here just show you we take very serious on training students. The list show you just to show we actively recruiting students from different fields. And you'll see roughly equal proportion from CS, math, statistics, and engineering, which is optimization. And we also put a lot of effort in encouraging female PhD students in this program. Yeah, so this actually is a very exciting event for this Women in Data Science. And so we actually also invite high school female students on our campus to get experience with data science. Okay. And so I think, oh yeah, I have 15 minutes. So next, I just going to talk about focus on a few very focused items on how we did to break cultural barriers and make collaborations productive and sustainable. And I don't want to say we have a really good answers for those. I just want to tell you what seems to work, and also tell you some like experiences and which did not really go well. So this is really challenging. I think that yeah, it's really a long-term process. Yeah, let's just talk about them quickly. So how to break culture barriers? We find out what worked are like weekly seminars. Each Monday at noon, we provide a pizza for everybody. Okay, so just have your lunch at tripod seminars. So we require all the participants to show up. So we see each other a lot at a weekly base. We think that's really important. Okay, and each week, roughly speaking, we have 15 talks each semester, and then we have a computer scientist, statistician, mathematician. So as long as you come to a seminar, listen a lot to the talks given by different fields, gradually you will get familiar with their research perspectives and languages and so on. And we found that's really important, and then people actually find they are really enormously helpful to read or understand the papers from different fields. As a statistician, I don't have time to read the computer science papers or their top journals works. But if we have people in the room and talking about those, and I was happy to learn them. And the event calendar really works. That's really important. Okay, so we have communications between all the groups and also within the entire institute. And each year we organize this annual conference. These conferences or workshops also actually put a strong ties among the three communities. So instead of having participants from each one field, we actually have 3 fields, right? So this is a picture we had for the first year at Biosphere 2. We organized this conference at the Biosphere 2, which actually is a very inspiring place for innovation, for the adventure. So we felt, oh, that's really good place. We bring people here, stay there for 4 days, and live in the, stay in the Biosphere 2, and then enable them to have discussions and meetings. And this is year 2, and also like in Biosphere 2. In year 3, we did something different. We established a collaboration with a research institute in Mexico called the CMAT. I don't know how much you are familiar with this. This essentially is a mathematical institute for Mexico. And the interesting thing about CMAT is they actually have 3 units, which is math, statistics, computer science. They already organized something in that institutes, but they also felt, there is not enough collaborations among the 3. So we felt, okay, at least their structure matches our institutes about our tripods. So we actually had this very exciting conference at CMAT last year in Guanajuato, and to spend 1 week there to launch some very exciting programs like exchanging postdocs, exchanging graduate students. And we also, that conference also led like more deep collaborations between 2 departments and also to a college, even higher level. So that's actually good. And actually yesterday I just received the email from the CMAT director. We're going to launch the 4th conference in this June. So we felt, we should just continue to collaborate. And how to make a long-term collaborations? As you know, it's not easy to make long-term collaborations, because it takes time. It requires a very serious effort and a devoted, attitude. So we found like what really works are really joint advising. Okay, So postdocs or graduate students had multiple advisors, okay? And their dissertations, their papers should involve people input from different expertise. And the students they make natural ties, okay, among the faculties. And also usually, PhD, they work on multiple year, dissertation. So that's actually makes these collaborations ongoing as long as after it's like take off. And research working groups should be co-led by researchers from multiple expertise. So that the faculties should, they will actually think, oh, if they lead the group, they should actually communicate with each other and form the same vision. And one key is should have, work on proposals together. When the Tripod Institute, our participants wrote a lot of joint proposals during the 3 years, and some of them ever get funded. Okay, if the proposal were funded, then we will just continue. We felt that funded proposals or published papers, they are the best fuel for continuous collaborations. And at the point, and I heard feedback from our faculty that, oh, now I'm really used to this working with, mathematicians or statisticians. And I spend a lot more time, working with them rather than, maybe 5 years ago. So I think that shows that, people actually are interested in continuing these collaborations. This is our tripod I mentioned before, like a Keaton Han, he has a mathematical background before he joined us from Vanderbilt. And then during the tripod, he involved in 3 research working groups, and also try to collab, with graduate students, because postdocs, they are, very capable and very independent researchers. And this summer, he just joined the faculty, last summer actually, joined the UT Arlington. And then at Arlington, he still build, this research collaborations, continue working with us for now. And another postdoc, at least here, is Raimondo. Again, he's a pure mathematician, and now he actually just wrote a very exciting paper on multi-level visualization with computer scientists. And so he's working, he's actually on the job market this year. Okay. And so here are some proposals actually funded, during the tripod. This is the tripod plus X. Okay, I mentioned this is also an NSF program. So here, what is X? X basically represents anything not other than the 3 disciplines. Okay, they can be science, it can be like engineering, or can be just basically anything. Okay, and so we actually we received the 25 white paper proposals during the 2-week period, but each institute only allowed to submit 5, so we submitted 5. Okay. By the way, this Tripod Plus program is only open to Tripod institutes. So that's actually tell you, like, and sometimes NSF will have this very specific targeted funding opportunities for this type of research. And so we submitted 5 proposals. We got 2 funded. One is on research track, doing multi-level graph representation, which is a collaboration between Tripod plus information sciences. And we also got another one on visioning track, and which is between Tripod with astronomy, geoscience, and plant science. The idea of visioning track is to explore different ways to create vibrate data commons shared by different fields. Let me see the time. Okay, I'm good. I think I'm. Okay, so so some keys to successes in my perspective. Okay, we need build a strong community, And that's really important. The three communities should stay strong. They should have some sense of like membership in this community. So I'm part of the tripod. I want to contribute to this institute. I'm really proud of, working in this community. That's really, really important. And also, I think, in order to make this group really successful and well-funded, institutional support is very important. Okay? I spend a lot of time talking with deans, giving presentations to our vice president for research and even president to tell them, okay, what's going on, why tripod is so important, and why they should provide us a space or like travel fund or some support to organize our conferences. So our conferences actually is it's the cost can be, it's a cost that can be, substantial for our research, for our fund we got from NSF. So we have to rely on additional support from other sources to have this conference each year at the Biosphere too, because it's not really cheap to have 50 or 70 people staying in the Biosphere too, like for 4 days each year. So I think that's actually require good communications with the university level. And one also more important thing, I felt I'm lucky that I have a really coherent, we were able to build a very coherent leadership team. So the 4 co-PIs I just showed you, Stephen, Joe, and David, we meet weekly, each week. And before tripod seminar, we get together. We talk about the postdoc hiring, the conferences, the vision, the direction. Try to steer the future directions of this committee, and that's really, really important. And we make all the decisions all together and try to share our concerns, our different perspectives. And that leadership, I think a team is crucial for this to work. Okay. And so our tripod, actually the structure is really, I call it bottom-up structure. It's not top-down, it's not like we were funded by university, higher level administration. And we just came, naturally get together as researchers, and we form our collaborations, and from then we wrote proposals, and it was funded. Then we just start working as a teams or teams of teams, and we organize these activities. So that's actually is how, I think it's like worked, like just glued by the nature of our research and our research interest. Okay. So this picture just show you like different levels of community networking. Okay, this arrow shows on the left is networking as kind of a lowest level of integration. If you have a big group of people from different background, then from left to right, the level of integration is getting higher and higher. Networking, then cooperating, partnering, merging, and unifying. The reason I'm talking about this is we actually do annual survey at the end of each year. We hired an independent company to send surveys to our collaborators, to our participants, our faculty members, to let them actually score or like rate, okay, the level of integration to measure, how closely the institute is working together year by year, okay. And based on the past 3 years survey, we actually can notice the pattern shifts, okay, and more people feel like they are more integrated. It's not just a networking or checking. They actually are merging in their research goals and they're unifying as a team. But happy to see that kind of change actually measured by this quantitative scale. So I think I'm almost done. Just additional thought, okay, a common workspace is really important. And we work at university and we got like a couple of offices for graduate students and some space so that we can get together. And it's also important to find enough incentives for faculty members, because all the faculties researchers are very busy. It's not easy to jump out of your comfort zone, to jump out of the box to do something new. So at the beginning, we try to support the faculty's RA or students using tripod fund, and try to find a teaching release for faculty who is willing to put a lot of effort into this program, and also some travel fund for their students to present papers. And in order to do this, we have to do coordination with department chairs and the deans. But that's very, very important. And even so, I think it's not enough, because the NSF tripod fund is not, the money is okay, but it's really, if you involve 30 faculties, that's not enough. And so we actually have to work a lot, to convince the faculty this is a worthwhile project to invest your time. And even so, student, I still heard all the comments from faculty. They spend a lot of time on tripod, but the direct, funding they got from tripod was actually not that proportional to the effort they made. But so that's, but we felt we are lucky we have very devoted faculties here. And the outreach to publics, we organized, I told you, like a very exciting public lecture series on humans, data, and the machines. This is in 2018. In 19, we also have machine learning. You can see our co-PIs and our researchers give a public speech and broadcast and through YouTube, and to just let people know what's going on. Okay, and this is our machine learning literature project we organized on campus. And this is a very exciting project because this was totally organized by our postdocs. Okay, our faculty did not do anything about them. Our 4 postdocs, they got together, they decided, okay, we want to actually organize this campus-wide event targeting all the undergraduate students to tell them what is machine learning. And the idea is just to give a public, knowledge about the machine learning data science. The interesting thing is, like, it turns out it was very attended. And not only graduate students or undergraduates sign up, they even got a good proportion of sign up from faculty members. And in the main sciences, they also want to know what is the machine learning. And so they designed some very intellectual collaborations and discussions for this event. And so we felt, we should do this again, and just to outreach to the public on campus to change the climate of the university. Okay, so they were targeting on really non-computer science majors, or like or literature fields. Okay, and this is a visioning track for the Lemon Lab. I don't want to talk about it too much. Yeah, we also reached to high school, kids to tell them, what we are doing. That's also very important. Okay. So some reflections. So here I just want to say very briefly about the lessons, and also something which did not work well. So like which journals to publish. Okay, if you are, say junior statistician faculty, you have pressure on the tenure track. Okay, you may say, oh, this conference in proceedings may not be, may not really receive full credits in our, for my tenure tenure evaluation, you may have that concern. So in those cases, so we still advise, junior faculty, you put some effort in this collaboration. You also should maintain your main stream of research work in the field, which is not easy, but that's actually something. I think hopefully in the future, this co-authored cross-disciplinary collaborations, publications should be fully counted by each individual program. But I can see there is still some change need to be done, or like it may take time to change, people's mindset or about those. Also, how to better engage other institutes. Okay, I mean, actually, our tripod phase 1 even is, I mean, we felt really proud of it. We did not get phase 2. For phase 2, NSF selected only 2 proposals. Okay, phase 1 there were 12. For phase 2, only two were selected, and we noticed both of the selected ones, they engage, multi institutes, like 3 or at least 2 or 3 institutes to enlarge the scale of the activities. I think that's actually a direction. How do we make this work in a across different states, across different institutes? That can be even more challenging, but we did not really do much of those in phase 1, and so I think that's actually something we should actually think about. And how to involve more industry partners. Our data are real challenging problems from real industry or engineering science. And we had 1 industry partners, but we think we should have involved more to have our students, work on the real data. And the sustainable fund is always challenging. Okay, now without phase 2 from NSF support, and we will continue because luckily we got the support from the university, and I think that's also the plan of NSF fund. NSF try to give you a jump start to start from scratch, build this system up. Then in the long run, okay, and we should continue and sustain, in some way, not necessarily relying on the federal fund. Okay, for example, our university and actually is supporting us, including students and so on. So that's really important. And another even more challenging in the recent year is how do you do online collaborations during COVID-19? We organized, everything is virtual now. We organized virtual seminars and a research working group meeting and met virtually. But we have to admit it's not as easy. Actually, it was not as effective as in-person meetings or seminars. And yesterday I talked with the CMAT people. We are going to organize this virtual conference in June. We also need to figure out how to engage people's participation to those events. Okay, so this is my last slide, and you may wonder, okay, what will success look like? This is actually the picture which we put in for our tripod phase 2 application. We hope, in our mind, we think the success will be, we will make a groundbreaking translational results, okay, in both science and the domain science. And hopefully, after this collaboration, the data scientists and the scientists, they make a good team, and the team will make some very fundamental discoveries in science and also in theory, and they will win the joint Nobel Turing Prize, okay, for whatever they have been doing. And so data scientists can make very fundamental discoveries. At the same time, the scientists will make an impactful breakthrough, and so those will be well recognized by the society. Okay, I think I'm done. I think I used 1 hour 10 minutes time. Jamie, do we have any questions?
Yeah, so far we haven't had any questions come in. I'm going to reclaim the host role. So if you have a question, then click the raise hand button and I can unmute you so that you can ask your question. And I guess I'll get it started off while people are kind of thinking about questions, but that was an awesome talk. Thank you so much, Helen. I'm curious about these seminars that you set up, your location for them. I don't know how it is in your institution, but for us, the statistics department and computer science are literally on a different campus. So whenever I want to see them, I have to get in my car and drive 10 minutes and go over, which isn't that far, but it's hard to get people to go to the other campus. So I'm wondering about how you picked the location or, the building for your seminar and how you got people to come together to the same place.
Yeah, that's really, really great question. And we also realized it's very important to find a location which is convenient for everyone to to transport and also to have access. So we were a little bit lucky because our statistics and the math departments in the same building, and the computer science was like a 3 minutes walk away. But even so, we actually try to find this working space between these two buildings. So so we were just, each of us just need to travel like 1 minute and a half to the same location. I can give you an example. That our seminar worked really well because people find, okay, it's like a 1 minute away walking, and also we have like a lunch. Pizza works really well for graduate students, and on Monday, so they just come to eat and listen. And for our working space, actually, we had two working space, and one actually is in the main campus. Another working space provided by university is actually is actually located at a different campus. As you were saying, it's like 10 minutes drive, okay, to that building. And it turns out, that space was really not well used as what we expected. It's because of distance. Like, I think, we still think we should show up. That building is a really cool building. We have a scientist, we have like an imaging scientist on the first floor, and cancer scientist on the second floor. It's really very cool, and the modern science and building. And but still, it's not easy to get people there, and to even we provide this faculty office there. So what we did, actually, we actually have graduate students there, and we at least for our senior PI team, like we require actually each of us just to show up. I mean, work there 1 day. So it takes a little bit of effort. It's not easy, but I know like on Wednesday I should work in that building, and so we made this pre-arrangement, so we know each other. We know like when I should work there. So I work there, and then I just talked with people from different field. But location is really, really important. And so I don't know your place, Jamie, and so you may wonder, oh, can we get a second office for faculty? It's actually not easy. Actually, our policy, university policy, forbid faculty have two offices. Okay, so we actually have this workspace people share, and we take turns to sign up the time, and so we actually use this common workspace. That's I can tell.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's a tough challenge. It seems silly. It's only 10 minutes, but it really is a barrier sometimes.
Yeah. But then the online seminar will be good. We don't have a problem of a physical constraint or space. And also for seminars, it's not that challenging. We also recorded all the talks. We put them online, so even you cannot come, you can still watch the video afterwards.
Yeah, So we have Jang Yoon wrote in a question. He's interested in trying to get some advice about how you find these working groups to try to find collaborators.
Oh yeah, I don't know, but John is a graduate student or as I mentioned, for the newcomers, okay, who are not familiar with the groups, first of all, you just go to the website. If you will have a tripod website, and you can just click each group to see who leads the group and what the research agenda. But the best way to find out what each group is really doing is to join these group meetings. And so that is where the master calendar is very, very important. And you click you find out the meeting information, you just show up. And as I mentioned, our postdocs, graduate students, they took, they spent a few weeks before they decided which groups they will join. Okay, they just sit in different groups and rotating in a rotating way and figure out which is the best group to match their interest. And all the groups are really open-minded. We welcome any contributions and any involvement at any level from anybody. So you don't really feel like it's not easy to jump in. You basically can join each group anytime, as long as you feel like you enjoy that kind of project.
I guess another question that comes to mind with that is when you're meeting with someone and trying to figure out, if you want to develop a collaborative relationship with someone, what are some of the ways that you evaluate, if this is going to be a good collaboration or, if it's something that you should maybe stay away from? Because, when you're working within your own field, you kind of get a sense of if the person knows what they're talking about or, if they have expertise. But outside of your field, I think it's a lot harder to determine, if someone's going to be a good collaborator for you or not.
Actually, that's really good question. That's led to one point I did not really I forgot to mention. So we had 8 groups, right? And not all the groups actually will survive, because some groups, their collaborations, people get together at first, and after 1 year or 2 year, and they did not really find really some problems which people really can work on together, can glue them together to find products. So that kind of collaboration did not work well. So I think when I did the tripod phase 2 proposal, our 8 groups actually became like 5 groups. 6 groups. Yeah, two groups. We merged them together with another group, or we felt that there were not enough collaboration activities. Yeah, so that was what happened. I think is the collaboration did not really work well, but that's okay. That's really normal. We felt like this is like a natural selection process. Yeah, some work, some will not work. You never know. And I think if you felt the collaboration did not go well along the direction, it's not worthwhile for your effort, your time, then it's good time just to say maybe just to stop. That's what exactly I think one group eventually I think after 2 years they did not collaborate, they did not meet much. And at the very beginning they were really excited and everything was it's really depends on also the chemistry and the working environment in the group is up to group leaders. So there are many uncertain factors. So, but my suggestion is, some collaboration will work and some collaboration explore, spend some time, and then you find, oh, it's not really, as working, it's not working as I thought. You just, you can stop and start something new. Yeah, that's really good question, actually. Yeah.
Great. Do any of the other attendees have some questions? Again, you can either write them in the chat or you can click the raise hand button and I can let you unmute yourself. Okay, so here's another one from Jenny, who says, how can you maintain active participation? We are planning the interest groups as well, and she's hoping to get some hints.
Yeah, so that's a really good question. For the active participation, that's really not easy, as I mentioned, because everybody is very busy, and we are all already have full load in our own field. Now I have to do something extra and go out of my comfort zone, which is not easy. So we, as I mentioned, we try to provide the incentives, okay, to engage people. I mean, so first of all, you need to create a very, friendly, productive working environment. If usually people just show at the first time just to give it a try to say, oh, how it looks like. If they feel they learn something, they feel, oh yeah, I got something out of this. It's worth my effort and time. They will continue doing it. Okay, that's what actually our seminar, doing people just coming and just to try to learn something new. But you still need to do some extra things to attract people's efforts. Like say, as I told you, we provide the pizza on Monday seminar. We felt that's really working. And for the conference, we organize them at the Biosphere 2. It's really an attractive location. People like to spend 3 days in the middle of the mountains, in the middle of a desert, and try to become more imaginary and become more calm. So that's also attract people. And for the to really engage the faculty's interest, right, we find a mechanism to say support the students. So the students, at least they are like supported by tripod. Actually, because we received tons of applications for student support at the beginning of each year, and we have to actually choose as a committee, decide and students to support. So usually we put a priority for the applications where, say, the faculty already can support that students with some, NSF or some support. And then tripod will help do like match the fund with 50%. So the faculty incentives, so faculty feel like if tripod can help them support students substantially, and then they think, oh, in the past I can only support one student. Now with tripod support, I can support 2 students of mine. So for a few faculties, we do this every year. Okay, we just support their students as long as their research is relevant to tripod, and also they all already have some like a research project or funding. We just try to match those support in some way. Yeah, for students and postdocs, fellows, again, if you have if you have productive group meetings, they can get publications, and they can actually decide find a project they can work on for a long time, and they will actually actively participate in this event. They felt, okay, this is something I will do it. Yeah. Yeah, this is really fun experiences, and the only thing is like everybody has to be. It takes a while to establish, the common ground to work on, and to get familiar with each other. Yeah. So it's so Jenny, that's not really easy thing. Yeah, that's what we did. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, so I don't see any other questions, but I just again want to thank you, Helen. This was an excellent talk. And thank you to all of you who came to this first webinar. We're planning our next webinar for February 25th, and it'll be at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So be on the lookout for an email and a post on the discussion board for the SLDS section, probably next week. So again, thank you to Helen for this
Mm.
wonderful talk, and hopefully we'll see you all next month.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie, for the organizing this seminar. It's really fun. For all of you who have extra questions, I'd like to reach me out. Feel free to email me at my department email addresses, and I'm happy to really share my experience with you in the future. Yeah, and I wish everybody take care and also stay safe during this very difficult time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.